Moving on, historical revisionism is back in full swing this week as anti-Semitic and anti-Israel advocate Linda Sarsour retweeted the lie that Jesus Christ was a Palestinian. And this after Democratic Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota spread the message on her own Twitter account first. Though these are far from the first such incidents, with the New York Times spreading this falsity back in April as well. So first off, a history lesson. Jesus Christ, regardless of whether or not you believe he was the Messiah, was born Jesus, son of Joseph, Jesus of Nazareth, Jesus the Nazarene, or Jesus of Galilee, and he identified as a Jew from birth till death. Meanwhile, the Roman province of Syria Palestina, which is today mistakenly identified as having any connection to today's Palestinian identity, didn't even come about until AD 135. So in no way is any part of the claim that Jesus was Palestinian correct. And here now with more is Davidi Hermlin, the president of the International Center for Public Diplomacy in Israel. Davidi, thank you so much for coming in.
Shalom.
Okay, so what is the object of saying statements like this? Is it just to inflame? Is it to rewrite? Is it because she actually believes it? Is it ignorance?
As ridiculous and funny as it is, it makes me angry and sad because this is pure anti-Semitism. Clear way to deny the historic connection of the Jewish people to their country. And the fake idea, even if you recognize that there is now a Palestinian nation or not, I don't believe so, but this is politics of today. The fact that people try to change history, and this is like fake news of the past. And to say that Palestinians used to be here since ever, like they are the descendants of the Canaanites or the Philistines, which is clearly not true.
Right.
But the fact that you try to change history to justify your the political perspectives of today, if you have these kinds of perspectives, this is something that we cannot accept. We can argue about what should be in the future. We can argue, hold debates about what our perspectives regarding the present. But we cannot change history. This is something which is unheard, unacceptable, and should be stopped immediately. And unfortunately, I believe, if I may say, that the reason that Ms. Sarsour and others, I have to say, are doing so is because they know that people will like them because they say so.
It's not just as populist. It's not even like...
Exactly. This is what is concerning me, that they don't do so because they want to change the mind of other people, but because other people dislike us so much, so they would like to satisfy them. And the fact that politicians from the extreme left in Western countries give legitimation to these kind of lies, this is what concerns me mostly.
I mean, yeah, I hear these stories, I hear these comments, and to me, it's as if to say, that the Dalai Lama and Genghis Khan and all this other, they're all Chinese. It doesn't make sense to me to say that, because I know, going back to Linda Sarsour's response to the criticism, she's saying, to say Jesus was Jewish and not Palestinian, he can be both, and because Palestinian is a nationality is her argument. But a Palestinian nationality didn't exist at the time, and so to go back and to say, again, does that hint at something more for you?
I think that this is exactly the point, because when she said that it can be both, this is the cornerstone of what we call the anti-Israeli ideology, which means there is no Jewish nation, that the Judaism is only a religion and not a kind of nationality or ethnicity. You came here because what happened in the Holocaust as a result of your religious background, and not and this is not returning to your own country. You don't belong here, and now you, the West, you should take care. You should take care for the Palestinians, because they are the real victims of what you did to the Jews then there in Europe. You understand? This is I know it's complicated.
Yeah, it's very muddy water.
This is the idea. That Judaism is not nationality, only a religion, so you have no rights. And those who lived here before, the Palestinians, the so-called descendants of the Philistines, which were Greek, okay?
Roman,
they
yeah.
are the original residents of this country, and you are not native nation here. And this is complete lie.
So what I'm also surprised about is the fact that it seems to me that most of the criticism has actually come from the Jewish world and the Jewish diaspora, and not as much, at least, from the Christian world, and that's kind of surprising to me. Do you have any insights as to why that might be?
I don't know if it doesn't come from the Christian world, but maybe it doesn't come enough from the Western politics, because now we have trend of, progressive trend of anyone has its own perspective of the truth, and there are many ways to see the truth, and each one has the right to have his or her own narrative.
Identity politics.
Yes,
basically.
and this is the bad side of the politically correctness, and which can be good, but if you take it that I can
If you take
agree,
to the
we
extreme
can
and
accept
abuse it,
everyone
sure.
has his own perspective. No, sometimes you have the truth and the lie, and this is one of those cases.
All right, Davidi, Hermlin, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.